Some lakes test your skill, others test your nerve. But only a few test your heart. Lake Fork is one of them. And in May of 2025, a 23-year-old rookie walked into that test and came out something more. Tucker Smith didn't arrive on the elites by accident.
Yeah!
From multiple dominant performances in both high school and college circuits, to the tough and grindy road of the Bassmaster Opens qualifications, his path was marked by preparation, composure, and making a name that bass fans were already beginning to remember. But his story runs deeper. Behind the mechanics and the mindset was the quiet influence of a legend, Aaron Martens.
I'd say my biggest fishing hero is Aaron Martens. That's why I wear the purple, but I was really close with him. The short time that I knew him, amazing dude, the most natural fisherman I've ever seen in my life, and he taught me a lot.
Aaron mentored Tucker with the same grace he brought to every cast. He taught him to think differently, to sharpen both his tool set and skill set.
He's taught me a lot about bass fishing. The biggest thing that he taught me was to have fun. One of the biggest things was paying attention to my side scan. That's one thing that he influenced me on, was use your side scan a lot, especially during practice, to find as much stuff as you can to catch fish.
That influence lives in every decision Tucker makes on the water. And on Lake Fork, it showed.
I didn't really think that I was in a position to win this tournament after having 25 pounds the first day. Hopefully we can get 5 good ones tomorrow, but these fish are super smart, but they're giant.
Always great to have you here, and I hope to have you here all the way through to Sunday once again.
Strong enough to stay close, steady enough to stay quiet. He was playing the long game.
After that, I ended up going back to the same places, and more fish just kept showing up. It kept getting better and better as that water stabilized.
On Friday, the calm cracked. He dropped over 34 pounds on the scales, and just like that, the rookie wasn't sneaking around anymore. He was charging.
34 pounds, 5 ounces!
That's the whole thing about these tournaments. You can't let anything get in your head. You have to keep fishing super hard.
By day 3, momentum was real.
6-pounder. That might be a 10-pounder, dude. Yeah, there's so many big fish in this place. I really wanted to catch an over coming into this tournament. Yeah! Let's go! There's so many big fish in it, but it's still stressful. It's tough. The place isn't easy.
Look at that beast.
You have to really hunt around for those big fish, and they're super, super smart. They're not easy to catch at all.
Holy smokes, boys.
I live at Gunnersville now, so I'm used to fishing offshore a lot. I'm used to, being around big fish out there, so it just kind of sets up the same way that I usually try to break down Gunnersville. So it sets up a lot similar, and it's just a fun place to be. There's so many big fish, but you get out there, and I think practice I scanned for 3 days straight. I barely made any casts, so I spent a lot of time behind the hummingbirds and scanned a ton and ended up finding a few new places. And then actually today, I pulled up on a couple of places that I had caught them yesterday, but it seemed like those fish had actually moved around. I had to re-find them, and it seemed like they were, changed depths today, so which is really cool.
Another 33-pound bag pushed him into striking distance, but still, he had his choice in a few different areas. The best, he believed, was still ahead.
Golly.
Mother's Day. The kind of day that makes moments bigger, brighter, more meaningful. And from the first cast, Tucker fished like someone who understood what was on the line.
I still know how to throw a bait caster, boys.
Not just a trophy, but a thank you to everyone who had helped him reach this point. A mom, a mentor, a memory.
I knew I had to crack a giant bag, so that's what I tried to do. I kind of fished free. Didn't have much stress, just because I wasn't leading the tournament.
Holy smokes, boys.
Yeah.
I thought that I needed a massive bag to win, so I just hit everything that I could to try to catch the biggest bag possible.
Tucker zeroed in on the shad spawn and mixed things up with a swim jig and bait casters. He found a solid jig bite, while also employing the finesse approach that brought him success throughout the week. By noon, it was clear. He wasn't just contending. He was conquering.
I kept running the same stuff. I finally got in that really good rotation that final day, and I got it down to the hour of when I should pull up on these places, and I got better and better at it each day to see when these fish would pull up and bite and group up the most. And that final day, the water was the most stable that we have had. The water level was coming down, the water was getting cleaner, and they weren't pulling a ton of current, so those fish actually grouped up and showed up really well in the graph. I was able to position my boat in the right areas, the same areas that I was fishing the last 3 days, but yeah, those fish, there was more there, more fish than been there all week.
34 pounds, 14 ounces, the best fishing day of his career.
That's something that I try to do every day that I'm on the water, is have a good time. You know, we've got people fighting for our lives across seas, and we're here being able to fish bass tournaments. So just to be able to do this for a living it's amazing. And that's one thing that Aaron taught me, was never take anything for granted and just be happy that we're fishing tournaments and that we get to do this for a living.
127 pounds, 8 ounces, a Century Club belt, a first elite trophy, and a rookie no more.
The trophy and the whole ceremony, the whole weigh-in was unbelievable. It was so eye-opening to see, you know, all the fans and the crowd and everybody getting pumped up. It was so cool. It felt like a dream just because my position, I was 8 pounds back, and to be able to hoist that trophy at the end of the day, it was surreal and one of the best moments of my life for sure. Aaron Martens winning on Mother's Day, and then me winning on Mother's Day as well. It was, I didn't even think about it until Mercer said it, because I remembered that tournament at Havasu when he won on Mother's Day, and it broke me down.
Some wins are just weight on a scale. Others are more. Lake Fork became the place where a young man proved he belonged, where talent met timing, where legacy could meet the next chapter.
It wasn't a coincidence. Aaron he was pumped for sure, and he told me that I was gonna win one of those blue trophies one day, and to be able to do that, it's unreal.
Aaron Martens never fished for the spotlight, but his influence echoes in those who do it right, who fish hard, who fish free, who fish with heart. And on one perfect week in May, Tucker Smith honored that spirit with every cast.